Everybody, Mike Karibyan, starting another episode, and this is for all my supporters and followers. Thank you everyone for supporting me, and if you haven't subscribed the YouTube channel yet, please do so. My channel is about financial services. Mainly I talk about insurances and real estate, and time to time I talk about motivational stuff as well. So today what I want to talk to you guys about is the process of buying a life insurance. Many people generally understand the concept, but they don't know some details of it. And I want to clarify some stuff that's going to help you understand the process of buying a life insurance and the importance of it. Because I believe everyone, doesn't matter what age you're in, everyone needs life insurance, whether you're young, old, in your middle age, 30s, 40s, 50s, married, unmarried, have family, or you don't have a family yet. It does not matter. Why? Because I believe protecting yourself and your assets is very, very important, especially nowadays that a lot of life insurance is not just for death benefit. It's also called living benefit, means anything can happen to the individual and they can have access to the coverage for other purposes in case they get some kind of a health issues, and if they qualify they can access to their coverage. Now what's the process? The first thing you want to do is find the right agent, someone who understands the business, someone who's been doing it for a while, understands the insurance products, understands how the process works, and has a great track record. Why is that important? Because there are a lot of new agents that come on a business and they don't know how the business works, and they submit an application in a wrong way that can hurt the client, either get a decline or get a bad rating. And that also, kind of messes up the client's record. Why? Because if he or she tries to apply it somewhere else, that's going to pop up. Other companies going to see it, question it, what happened, why did you apply, when did you apply, why you got rejected, or why this happened, that happened. So it's very important to find the right agent. That's number one. Very, very important. Second, once you find the right agent, in that case, hopefully you're going to choose me, right? Because I've been doing this for 22 years. I'm not saying I know everything, but I have a lot of knowledge under my belt. Because 22 years, it's a very long time selling insurance. I came across all kinds of cases. I helped all kinds of clients, very wealthy ones, average families, middle families, people at their old ages, young ages, different health issues. And one of the nice things about working with me, my agency is a brokerage, which means we have an option to pick and choose different companies. And when I sit down with the client, once I find out their kind of situation, especially the health conditions, it's much easier for me to figure out where to send to have the highest chance of getting the policy approved. And of course, our goal is to get a good approval. So that's first thing. You got to find an agent. And if you don't know anyone, direct message me. I'll be happy to assist you. If you already know me, you already saw my services, so I'm sure you liked it and you want to continue. Now, that's the first step, finding a right agent. The next step is making sure that you talk with the agent and explain your situation. What I do as an agent, I ask deep questions. How long you've been in the United States, what type of documents you have, what's your background, as far as the anything bad in your background that happened last 5 years, last 10 years. I also ask questions about medications, what kind of medications you're drinking, what kind of medications you're being subscribed to. I also ask questions what happened last, let's say, 24 months or last 5 years. Did you go to emergency or did you visit any urgent care? What happened? If you have a record, I ask for those records to kind of see it things ahead of time. So when I submit an application, I answer the questions properly, because that's very, very critical, very, very important, not only to get approval, but also have a highest chance to get a good rating. Because one thing I learned working with insurance companies is they like applications that the questions are answered, and when they run the background, it matches the questions, and the underwriters, when they see it's a correctly answered file, and they approve it much better. So that's the second step, that when you talk to the agent, to be very open about your situation. So when you submit the file, he has the highest chance of getting approval, and of course getting a good approval. Now, once the policy approves, what I usually do, I contact the client again. I said, hey, based on original conversation we have, I submit the file. Let's say they applied $1 million coverage. Their premium, for example, is $400. Once the policy is approved, if it's approved as we apply, I tell them. If it's approved better, I also tell them. But if it's approved lower rating than what I submitted, I also tell them. Why? Because as an agent, I think it's my due diligence to and responsibility to tell the client that, hey, we got to this point. How do you want to pursue with the process? If the client understands, once I explain the details and I get the final approval from the client, because end of the day, when I sell policies, I want to make sure this policy stays in the book for a long time. Why? Because I don't believe getting a policy to someone for some reason they're not happy, for any reason, especially payment-wise, and 4 months down the road, 6 months down the road, they end up canceling the policy. That's not my motivation. My motivation is help the client, make sure they're happy, and also make sure they can afford it, and they will keep this policy for a long time. So once I pass that stage and I get the final conversation, final approval, and we are on the same page, then I said, okay, great. So now I'm going to issue the policy. Once the policy comes, a lot of times nowadays, a lot of insurance companies, they give you the option to have a electronic policy deliveries, which some people like it. Some people are still traditional. They like the old style, or they like the physical touch of the policy. I also confirm that. I'm like, how do you like your policy to be delivered, electronically, or you want I order it and issue a physical copy of it, deliver it to you, or you can come and pick it up from the office? That's the next step. Once I do that, I go over the policy again, explain the details, go over the bullet points, make sure they understand what they're getting specifically, the details, the main important things. I cover it. A lot of times I highlight the important areas, so in case they forget, they always can see the highlighted important areas as far as the rate, age, premium, type of policies, benefits, etc. So those are very, very important when I deliver. And of course, I ask a lot of my clients, and I tell them, hey, if you're happy with my service, would you refer me more clients and follow me on social media? And taking the opportunity, if you're not following me on social media, please do so at Mais Mike Karibyan, including my YouTube. Subscribe it and share it if you're getting value out of this content. So that's the next step. After that, usually what I do, I deliver the policy, I congratulate, and I remind them again and again the importance of buying a life insurance. It's not just for you. It's for your family. It's for your next generation. It's for your beneficiaries. Because, a lot of people who end up buying a life insurance, they understand the importance of it. And I've seen, sadly, in my career, of course, when you have a lot of client base throughout the years, people get sick, people, die. And I deliver a lot of checks, a lot of claims. And I don't remember any scenario when I delivered the check to the family, to the spouse, to the husband, to the wife, to the kids, to the parents, sadly. Every time they thanked me, many times. I had situations where, people hugged me and cried and said, Mike, if I didn't receive this check, I don't know what I was going to do with my family. I don't know how I was going to raise these kids, how I was going to keep up with the mortgage payment and all the expenses because my spouse is gone. It's a very tough situation to be in, but at least I have a peace of mind that I can handle the finances until I recover my pain. So again, buying a life insurance is very important, but today's video, mainly I wanted to cover the bullet points of the process, which is very, very important. If you don't have a life insurance, get hold of me. I'll be happy to help you. If you do have it, I always recommend people to renew their policies, because a lot of times people buy and they don't know exactly what they have, or maybe they forgot certain points that policy they bought it has, and you have to pay attention the timeline. Sometimes I came across policies, they bought a, let's say, 30-year term or 10-year term, and 5 years passed by and they still think there's 10 years left, which that's not the case. If you bought a 10-year term, 5 years passed by or 8 years passed by, you only have 2 more years. And a lot of times people's policy gets lapsed because they don't pay attention to these important deadlines and timelines and understand how the functions work in a policy. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe my channel, share it in your pages, and if you have questions, direct message me. Mike Karibyan. Have a good one. Take care.